For that light button to go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ryan Stick Show. We have a fancy new setup. Check it out. I got webcams, and you know what's really cool? I got double vision. Yep. See, you can see me on both sides, and we can do this. And I'm not sure if the connection is going to work, but what we're going to do, I don't think it is working. So I'm going to cut one stream in favor of the other. Yep, that's exactly what we're going to do. I think it's working. I'm not sure, but we'll see. So, this is a test you're witnessing, everybody, with this two camera stuff, and I'm sure that's messing up the internet, but it's how we do things. I want to make sure that on a gig, I don't screw this up. So, anyway, back to just me. I think this will work a little bit better. What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday night. It is almost 11 o'clock. What are you doing up? What are you watching me for? Well, I'm here just to talk to you and say, I hope your week's been going great. And I hope your week, it is so crazy. We are right around that part where it has been almost 7 months since this whole quarantine stuff has happened. And it is just completely unreal. And I just, right now, we are doing an official test because I fortunately, very fortunately, get to kind of semi work for a living. And I do a lot of live auctions with some events, and I want to make sure that the camera's working, and I want to make sure the sound's working, and my new setup's working. Because right now I'm plugging directly into the Ethernet, and hopefully that is not screwing up. And I got this other thing where I'm plugging in a H6 and a webcam, and I'm just slowing everything down, making it look like the 90s. But we're here to have fun, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a good time. Have you been having a good time as possible? It is the beginning of the Halloween season, everybody, and I am just tickled beyond belief that next week, not one but two actors from the Monster Squad are going to be appearing on this very show live right here. Andre Gower and Ryan Lambert, who played Sean, the leader of the Monster Squad, and Rudy, who played the badass. You may know him from such lines as "I'm in the goddamn club, aren't I?" and "Bang." So Melissa and I are going to be co-hosting that next week, and it's going to be, "Hi Bernadette, how are you doing?" Bernadette Winder, an amazing, supportive person who really helps out with you, me, and YTV and all of our all that because it can't just be one person talking about a web project that people do for free, right? So I hope you're all doing well. I keep saying that, but we got some fun geek stuff happening, especially in the month of October. And we're going to be covering a lot of that on this show throughout October, all the new releases. But I do want to mention that Scooby Doo and Elvira are teaming up for a movie called Happy Halloween Scooby Doo. And the bad guy in it is actually the Scarecrow from Batman. So, all the way from Gotham, Jonathan Crane is going up against Mystery Inc. and Elvira. And I believe that guy who does science, Bill Nye. Yeah, there you go. So he's going up against Bill Nye. And also this month coming up in October that all you Halloweenophiles can look forward to is that there's a new Adam Sandler movie that actually looks pretty good. Actually, it looks in the vein of Ernest Scared Stupid. And I can't remember what it's called, but it's called like a Blee Halloween, and it's coming on Netflix. And also on Netflix is The Haunting of Bly Manor. So if you loved The Haunting of Hill House, this is technically the sequel series. It's the same series, but it's a different family and a different house, same production team, and it's going to be fucking bonkers. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that as well. Yeah, so October, I know we have a lot of frowns, and we're going to try to turn those frowns upside down because there's still a lot to enjoy and a lot to consume, especially with new media that's coming out. And also, there is the classics. So, when we're on right now, how about we just discuss a few things? What are some of your favorite? What are your favorite cult classics? I want to know what your go-to five Halloween movies and or TV shows you love. Write in the comments below. Seriously, I want to know because if there's ones I haven't seen yet, I would love to see them. And this is the best way to learn, to be honest. So tell me what your favorite Halloween movies are. I'll even make a little title to ask. Tell me your favorite Halloween movies are. See, you're watching production happen. And then we save. And then we put it up there and put it out into the ether and see who will step up to the plate. Who will answer the age old question of what your favorite Halloween movies are. Yeah, in the meantime, I shall tell you a few of mine. My first and always go to is Trick or Treat. Not Trick or Treat, but Trick or Treat. And that is a movie that is kind of like Pulp Fiction, but it takes place all in this one town that takes Halloween very seriously. And there's a bunch of scary stories that all kind of intersperse into each other. And yeah, it's a great old time. I don't want to overhype it too much, but let's just say I have spent a few $100s on merchandise based on this movie out of my love of it for the last 10 years. Also, some great Halloween movies, of course, besides Michael Myers, is of course Halloween 3, which was severely overlooked back in the day because it didn't have Michael Myers in it. But I would say that I think it's like one of the most essentials. Here we go. So Bernadette is saying Monster House, Corpse Bride, Ghostbusters, James and the Giant Peach, and Casper. Bernadette, I would like to tell you about my experience watching Casper. I saw Casper in the theater in 1995, and I had been a fan, of course, of the cartoons when I was a kid, but I really was not expecting Casper to be as good as it was, and I think it was one of the most powerful and impacting opening scenes, like really setting up how scary this house is, and the tweens that go in there to be up to no good, and it's just and the way it's handled is just absolutely excellent with the score and everything. The opening titles, I think Casper is magic. And there's moments in that movie when I think about Casper, especially with involving Kat's mom, I get a little misty eyed, and I think it's because of the score too. So kudos to Casper. What a great score. And also, Corpse Bride is a super beautiful, cool movie. And the thing about Corpse Bride is the land of the dead is this bright, vibrant, cool, awesome place, while the land of the living is pretty much like almost black and white. The color is brought down so much it's like life is bleak, and that's so interesting. But what's also interesting is that all the ghosts and goblins and the corpses in the movie, I should say, not goblins, they all kind of look like this 1930s classic Halloween and horror animations. And I really like the nod to that. I'm a bigger fan of Tim Burns' The Nightmare Before Christmas, as Bernadette is saying. I'm a bigger fan of that. But I really do. I really do. Corpse Bride is definitely something that you shouldn't look over. And Frankenweenie kind of completes that Tim Burton animation trilogy. But I will say something. If you haven't seen this, especially you, Bernadette, I think you would love this movie. If you haven't seen Paranorman yet, that's Paranorman, you gotta check that out. That is old school stop animation about a kid who sees dead people, but it's a little different. Like while Cole from The Sixth Sense was tortured by it, he's kind of used to it and it's just his thing, and he's a big horror fan. But then he lives in a town that has like this 100, 200-year-old curse with witches that it comes well, basically the witches rise from the dead and all that. It's just nuts. It's bonkers. Paranorman is ultimately a classic. I am getting excited just thinking about it right now. And I think all you Halloweenophiles out there will love Paranorman. You gotta check out Paranorman. Bernadette also mentioned Ghostbusters. Well, of course, Bernadette. Ghostbusters is one of those movies that I find hasn't even though it's filmed in the middle of the 80s, I find it's the least 80s movie I've seen. Like it's a feel good time, complete plot, four genius actors doing their thing all at once. But at the same time, you don't get this, I guess I should stand more in the center, right? You don't get this feeling of, oh, look how corny this movie is, and look at all the big look at all the big hair and the neon colors. Like for some reason, just Ghostbusters, I think they did it right. They made the movie timeless. Same thing with Back to the Future. If you really involve the decade you're shooting in a little bit too much, the movie has to surrender itself to whatever decade it's in. And I love John Hughes movies, but that is definitely something. Like every time you see a John Hughes movie, you don't say, the good old days of 1996. You're like, if that is not 1986, I will shave my head. So yeah, thinking about it now, I'm just coming up with this shit on the spot. Well, there's a bunch of other Halloween movies that came out based on, people seeing Trick or Treat and getting inspired. And one of them I saw, Fantasia, was called Tales of Halloween, and I believe that's premiere. I believe you can watch that on Amazon Prime, and it is a great fun party movie because all the stories are only about 5 6 minutes each, and then there's like 15 of them. And yeah, so let's say there are 10 of them or something like that. Anyway, those movies are a lot of fun. And if you don't like some of them, you could just skip to the next one. And Neil Marshall, who's made The Descent and a bunch of other movies, he made the last one. And the last one is about giant jack o' lanterns that come alive. And it's just fucking excellent. So if you got to see any of that, yeah, you wait, can't post comments or to some destinations. Whatever, fuck, I don't care. Anyway, just making sure I'm getting the tech right because I got a gig on Saturday, and even though I'm not on camera for that one, I want to make sure it works good. Other Halloween movies. If any of you guys see any of this, by the way, leave comments. I can highlight them if you're seeing this right now. Hello. Write a comment below. I'll highlight up and let's have a conversation. Let's have some fun. I miss you. Seriously, we don't get to talk anymore, because of plagues. Yeah, what else is going on, everybody? Well, let's keep going down that rabbit hole of amazing Halloween movies. Melissa and I, a mainstay in our house is Dracula, Dead and Loving It. And that's like one of the first movies we watched when almost 10 years ago. I met Melissa 10 years ago in September. So that just passed. And we will have been together 10 years in February. Well, that's when we started becoming friends and stuff. So when we were becoming friends, we were watching a lot of Dracula Dead and Loving It. And ever since then, that's been a very special movie in our house. And it's just amazing. And it's kind of funny because I'm guessing people who like Young Frankenstein look at Dracula Dead and Loving It as phoned in like goofy filth. But I don't know. It just spoke to us, and it's funny because it's Mel Brooks' last movie. And like you'd think like, oh, did he retire after that out of frustration? But I adore Dracula Dead and Loving It. Absolutely adore it. And a big movie in our house, of course, is Hocus Pocus. And by the way, next week, when we do the Monster Squad interview, everybody, next week, there's going to be pictures, going to be clips where you might take some calls. It's going to be a fucking blast. And that's a big reason why I'm doing a broadcast right now, not just to test out tech and to catch up with everybody, but I just, got to keep those fires alive because, next week we got that big fucking interview. And I gotta tell you, it's like I feel excited as a kid in the candy store. And I just like to thank Andre Gower right now and Michael Bean and everybody else who appeared on this program during a pandemic when we were all losing our fucking minds. And these famous people who don't have to be nice to me were very nice to me. And from the bottom of my heart, I really, really, really appreciate it. Ryan Lintz in the house. What's going on, dude? Yep. Your fellow Ryan, indeed. You're totally right, dude. Okay, so I'm seeing how to not screw this up. Gotcha. If I disappear for a second, you know why. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna make this better. There you go. I think the connection is gonna be better now. Okay, so what's going on, Ryan? Ryan Lint, he does karaoke almost every night, I believe. Hey, so Bernadette's got another one. She says Scary Godmother specials used to air on YTV so much. That's true. Scary Godmother's a cool show. And then you got Mona the Vampire and a bunch of other really cool horror kids shows. And our nephew has been watching a lot of like Super Monsters and well, she's not my goddaughter, but I like to think of her as one. She watches Vampirina, and it's just absolutely amazing how much that kid horror genre that was always kind of like really popular in the 1970s and early in mid 80s when Scooby Doo was like was Scrappy and all that. Here we go. Ryan Lind does karaoke on Mondays. There you go. Yeah, so it's incredible that kid horror stuff is. I gotta think of a better name for that, but that that kiddie horror is still so prevalent these days, but done with such more of a budget and clearly with a lot of love. But that's why we gotta give a lot of love to the Monster Squad and even those Scooby Doo movies. I mean, there's like I still, even though I'm not a big fan of Scrappy Doo, they kind of finally toned him down when he was in movies like Scooby Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, or Scooby Doo and the Boo Brothers is so cool to watch, but so hard to watch. Plot wise, it's just all over the fucking place. But whatever. So I like and the Ghoul School. I really like that one too. Rented that all the time. I'm getting excited, everybody. I'm glad you're watching with me. Stephen Fairweather brings up Hereditary. That is not for kids, but that movie is fucking brilliant. And I was watching that movie and it wronged me, in my brain and my psyche. When I was watching Hereditary, I was just trying to process what the fuck I was seeing and how to deal with it. And it's not even the really scary, ghoulish horror stuff that scared the shit out of me about Hereditary. It let's just say it involves a tree, and just I just couldn't look away. And there's been some great movies that have come out too. There has been so many good horror movies. In fact, on the program next month, there's this really cool horror movie coming out on Shudder called the Mortuaries, the Morturers. Oh, God, the Mortuary Tales. Yeah, I believe that's it. I'll get that right next week. I promise. The Mortuary Collection. That's it. And it's a movie about a girl who goes to a funeral home and she wants a job. And the caretaker, the undertaker there, he tells her a bunch of tales that are all written in the books about the people who have died and showed up there. And it's a really cool tale. I gotta say, I think you Halloweenies will really really like it. Um, let's get on to the more adult, actual scary stuff. Yeah, Steven, you bring up Hereditary, but I'm also thinking Get Out and Us are both also really intense, fucked up, kind of mind fucky movies. A Quiet Place is a really good fucking movie. It's not a mind fuck because you kind of know what's up, but it is a mind fuck as an experience, and it's kind of hard. I'm assuming to have the discipline to watch that movie at home and not go on your phone or check your email or take five pisses or do this, do that, because it's a movie you really got to stop everything and watch. So if you don't have the luxury of doing that with your time, just kind of save it for a rainy day when if things really go to hell again, we'll have something to do. We'll have something to watch. And and Are You Afraid of the Dark was on YTV. Absolutely. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Friend of the show Ross Hall played Gary. Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps and Freaky Stories and Erie, Indiana? They're all these great shows, man. Thank you for bringing that up, Bernadette, actually, because what we were talking about before, I forgot about that. Well, it's not that I forgot about it. I forgot to mention just how, yeah, I don't think it's ever gone away. I think we're always trying to like scare kids, but not make them pee their pants. I think we want to scare them, but still show them a good time and leave them laughing at the end or something. So if I could ever be involved in a project that did that, it doesn't have to be a gore fest, but play like a goofy vampire or something. That would be great because I'd be like, hey, everybody, you don't need to give me makeup. Hell, I look dead right now. Give me some fangs, a little bit of blood, and I am your man. Yeah. Really looking forward to that Monster Squad interview. I would like to show you something if I can get it up here. I would. That sounds weird. I want to show you this photo I made to publicize the Monster Squad next week. And let me just make sure I get it up here. All right, so as we are waiting, let me know more. Tell me what your favorite Halloween movies are. Stephen Fairweather, you mentioned Hereditary, but there's got to be some more classics out there. What are the Halloween movies that you must see? That when you think about Halloween, you think of these movies. And we've all talked about, for those of you who are just joining us, we brought up Hocus Pocus, Dracula Den Loving, and Sleepy Hollow is a big one in our house too, for sure. And you're gonna watch me break camera for a second. Hey, sweetie, do we have any water? Nice, awesome. I'm Yeah, let's watch Sleepy Hollow. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a great Halloween month, everybody. It really is. I mean, and we got to do what we got to do. But Halloween night, I mean, if it's not raining like crap, at least we could, even in the red, we could stand outside our homes and even just wave to each other, a nod. I'm not sure if there's gonna be trick or treaters. Probably not. But here's the funny thing about that is that trick or treaters, you're pretty much the only time of the year prior to COVID 19 and all this, is the only night of the year where wearing masks is not only welcomed, but it's kind of it's kind of insisted upon. So to kind of like not do anything on Halloween, given the fact that people are going to be wearing masks on a regular, based on the Halloween, based like if you wear masks on Christmas, you're kind of fucked up. But if you're wearing masks on Halloween, it should be easy. Oh my God, thank you! And I want to show everybody this amazing mug Melissa got me. Thank you so much. Here, let's show everybody this mug. So it says friends, but it's all the slashers. Isn't that great?
C'est des amis, but it's from the scary movies.
You got Ghostface from Scream, and of course Freddy and Jason. You got Pennywise. I mean, even you have the dude from Saw, Chucky, and you got Sam. You got a little Sam right there.
Watch it, don't drop it on your computer.
Yeah, I know. Imagine this is my mug, and then it falls on the computer like live, and you're like, "Oh my God, Jesus Christ!" It could happen. Yeah, the sweet gift of water. We got more comments here. Let's do this. Hey, Alan. Alan filled in as a guest host last week, and we talked shop. And this week, as you can see, Alan, I give a shit a little more. Last week I was very sleepy. But Halloween Town trilogy, Bernadette, that's a good thing to bring up. I believe that's on the Disney Plus app if you guys want to see that. And I believe there's 4 movies actually, but the fourth one isn't regarded as much. And I think there's like a Halloween High or something. I don't know. I watched it as an adult, so I kind of have to. There's some movies that, like, when I see Stranger Things, I'm trying to imagine being 12 years old and seeing the thing that it's like I love the show and I love the characters and I think it's just an extension of everything I like. But at the same time, I'm old enough to be like, I know what you're doing. And I thought about the comparison the other day and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's how my parents or anybody like older than me thought of the Green Day. They probably heard Green Day and they're like, and they hear the Ramones and their Clash and all these other bands that they sound like, and they're like, I know what you're doing. So that connection is pretty incredible. Ryan, I haven't even read your thing yet, but the fact you know who Sam is brings me great joy. All right, speaking of Sam, Trick or Treat, that movie was drenched in Halloween from the sets to the costume and, well, everything else. Ryan Lint, I have so many Sam things. I just ordered a bunch of stuff from frightrags.com that I am not sponsored by. And there's a Sam hat that's kind of like made of patches that are like sewn together with Trick or Treat written on the back and a big Sam on the front. I bought some Trick or Treat sweatpants, and I bought a T-shirt that's kind of like this, but it's shorter sleeves and it glows in the dark. So and I bought my buddy's kid a coloring book. So yeah, it's gonna be. I don't order a lot of stuff for myself, but I am pleased though because I was gonna order a bunch of stuff from SpiritHalloween.com, but then I ended up finding all the Krampus stuff that I wanted yesterday. So I'm not gonna order order a few. Over $100 of stuff with shipping and all that stuff. If luckily I was able to, find it in town, but I did. Yes, it was one of those moments, and it was kind of weird because I was wearing a mask, so people just saw me in a store wiggling my hands around, and it made people fucking nervous. So I don't do it that much. Yeah. So yeah, I have a lot of Sam stuff. Melissa, I'm so sorry to bother you. Can you bring me the big Sam on the hutch?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Sorry. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Huh. Yeah, just want to show some of the amazing stuff that Spirit Halloween has been selling of Sam because they're really, besides some t-shirt companies, this is really the only place where you can buy multiple Sam things. Thank you so much. In fact, maybe Sam will be my co-host.
Attention, voilà.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, isn't that nice?
So this is Sam, everybody. Say hi, Sam. And Sam and I are going to be hosting Halloween together. We're going to be doing a bunch of shows. Isn't that right? And we're going to be hanging out. And we're going to be reviewing some movies, talking some movies. We're going to be watching your movie a few times. And yeah, we're going to, I don't know. And there's a few things I haven't found of you yet. Like, I want to find your plush toy. That I believe it is in Canada, but it's presently sold out. But they will sell some more.
Turn it forward so I can see it.
And this amazing sidestepper thing that it's kind of like crap. It's animatronic and it is a little smaller, but it's you. But you kind of like you dance around back and forth, and you have like really bright colors and stuff. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. Oh, so Bernadette's bringing up Monster High. You know what? I gotta see Monster High. Is that any good? I feel like as a 36-year-old man, it's kind of none of my business. But if it's good, I'll always check out something. I could check out something even when it's not made for me. You know when something's good. It doesn't have to be like, oh, this doesn't rock my socks, but I can tell a lot. The writing is good. It's engaging. Hotel Transylvania is actually really good. I was surprised how good Hotel Transylvania 1 and 2 were. But it's kind of weird. Melissa, I don't care about the photo.
I want to take the photo.
You do? Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to concentrate and I have this ADD.
Do you want your other Sam thing with the gold?
I don't know. Melissa's taking photos right now, everybody.
No, it's
I'm
for
losing you. I know it. It's okay. But by all means, if you're seeing this right now, please put your comments and stuff. And I just want to talk to my buddies. And if you're seeing this, you're obviously my buddies. So I would love to hear more stuff from you guys. Yeah. So what Melissa and I really like to do every now and then is like check out Spirit Halloweens. And sometimes when we're on the road, going to somewhere else, we'll be like, oh, well, there's about 5 locations. There's a downtown location that just opened up across the street from the Mac store downtown near Peel. And when we were in, I believe, the West Island, we randomly went in, and usually Kirkland's one is not the best because it's smaller and they don't have as much space. But this year, boy, did they really step it up. I was really impressed with the amount of stuff they had and the placement of everything and how well everything was placed. And the Ghostbuster stuff was uncanny. And it was the first time I saw that big, huge animatronic Krampus that, God, it's like 6 or 7 feet tall. And if I had all the money in the world and a lot of space, I would buy that, but unfortunately, it would scare the crap out of Mel's nephew. So there's no amount of money is worth uh, decor that I can't afford, and the nightmares that we will give a loved one. So, but for all you grown-ups out there that don't give a shit, and you have the ability to stock such an incredible item, I suggest you go to spirithalloween.com and look up the animatronic giant Krampus. It is fucking awesome. And there's one of you too, actually. Yeah, he's I believe he's about 4 feet tall, kind of like how tall you're supposed to be and stuff. And yeah, amazing. So everybody, I think that's about as much as we're going to do tonight because it is getting later, and I want to make sure that you all get a good night's sleep, especially me. I gotta go to the dentist tomorrow. I haven't been to the dentist in a long time, kiddies. I haven't been to the barber. I haven't been to a lot of places, but the dentist especially. So the idea of lying down for like an hour so someone can look at my terrible gums with my mouth open is definitely a new phobia that I didn't realize I had. Now it's going to go 2 different ways. It is either going to go like in Well, it's either going to go in like in Little Shop of Horrors, the musical, in which a Steve Martin type is going to burst in the room and do horrible things to my mouth with drills and stuff.
That didn't sound right.
I know it didn't sound right either. I'm seriously Michael Scott. I just keep saying terrible things without realizing it. And also, like, whatever, I'd take one in the mouth from Steve Martin. He seems like a nice guy. Um, Father of the Bride Part 3 is coming out, by the way, everybody. That will not be part of the sequel, but who knows, maybe someday. But also, I have this other fear that I'm going to go crazy in the chair. And at the end of the dentist appointment, it's going to be me lying in the chair going, mirror, mirror, and, doing a crazy Jack Nicholson laugh at the end of it. Those of you who are just joining us, everybody, we are just about to sign off, but I just want to remind you that next week, and I'm going to be pulling up the image the best I can. Next week, we're going to be having two, not one, but two special guests. We have two members of the Monster Squad joining us. And if I could just find that photo, that'd be awesome. Anyway, that's what happens when you don't have a me working behind the scenes. You got to be your own. You got to be your own Ryan. And it makes you embarrassed. And you feel like a failure. That's okay. Now I have a Sam. You gonna help me out with the internet, Sam? Cool. I'm sure that I'm attracting a lot of attention with this. Sam, can you believe what people are tweeting these days? All right. Anyway, here is brand new. This has never been shown on the internet before. This is what we're going to make the link of for next week. This is the Monster Squad announcement. We are going to totally be interviewing the Monster Squad next week. It's an evening with the Monster Squad with Andre Gower and Ryan Lambert. And Melissa is just tickled pink because Ryan Lambert was her childhood crush. And, let's say Rudy was her childhood crush. Mm-hmm. You kind of like badasses that would defend the defenseless. That's what I liked about Rudy, too. Two scenes in movies really, really affected me, and it was kind of like anti-bullying ones, and definitely Rudy was one of them.
It's because he's a bad boy, and you're like,
yeah,
this.
and I also I run.
From Tom, what's his name?
They can't hear you, honey.
Sure they can.
Yeah, no, they can't. And another thing about this movie that I really love. Well, another thing about it that's ironic though is that Melissa loves River Phoenix, and in Stand By Me, that kind of cool guy sticking up for his nerdy friend. I didn't think I could ever be Joaquin Phoenix. I didn't think I could ever be Rudy, but I was pretty sure I could be their buddies. And the same thing with Benny the Jet Rodriguez from The Sandlot. So that's how I see myself, everybody. I'm everybody's Robin. They're Batman. I'm Robin. Bringing up The Dark Knight on YTV. The Dark Knight on YTV parts of Halloween moments back in the day. It's been a while for me. Yeah, you know what? It's been a while for me too. But Dark Knight before Halloween used to be a tradition. It used to beyond excite me. And I remember just watching it all. And before we could choose what we stream, ladies and gentlemen, man, those cable channels, you were at the mercy of what they were going to play. And the very idea is like, just sit back and relax as we're going to play 3 hours of Halloween excitement for you. Are You Afraid of the Dark and freaky stories, and Goosebumps premiered that way. And yeah, amazing. Now I don't want to wear out my welcome. What do you think, Sam? Play it again, Sam. But I think in the future, Sam will definitely be part of our set a little more because you look great on camera, buddy. You really do. You could pick up one of these Sams at SpiritHalloween.com. We are, or Spirit Halloween. Locations include Brossard, right next to Dick's 30. Laval, I believe, right next to Place Belle, or not next to, but definitely within the vicinity. Walking distance. Brand new downtown, just opened up 2 days ago, across from the Mac store. Have not been to that one yet. Some name from up north that we went to yesterday on our way somewhere that I cannot pronounce and will not on the internet embarrass myself. And yeah. Oh, in Kirkland. So all those locations, SpiritHalloween.com, Spirit Halloween the store. Check it out, everybody. We're not sponsored by any of these people, but I just love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. All right. So without further ado, bye. I keep saying goodbye, but that's the thing. I miss you. I miss you. I really do. All right, everybody. This has been fun. We will see you next week, next Thursday, 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Everybody. Cannot express this enough. I need your help to tell people that this interview is happening. Find those Monster Squad fans and send them in my direction. There'll be a link up shortly, and we will, or by the morning at least, and we will, yeah. Let's make this crazy. We're going to be taking questions. We're going to be watching clips. We're going to be watching some of your favorite scenes and hearing their impressions about it. What was it like filming them? What do they think afterwards? A bunch of amazing things like that. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Melissa and I are huge Monster Squad fans. Her family are huge Monster Squad fans. So are mine. It's going to be awesome. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you next week. Thursday night, 9 o'clock, Pacific Standard Time. No, Eastern Standard Time. Eastern. Bye.